Chief Baca. I'm Dr. Mullen. I am an educator and an administrator in LA Unified School District. My son was mixed. And it wasn't until Jamil Shaw was murdered that they began to recognize the murder. My son was murdered January 12th, 2008. And at that time, the coroner put on his toe that it was the 355th murder of the year. And then I believe when it got to the Shaw murder, it was still only 300 and something murders. So I think that there needs to be an accountability of the number of real murders that occur in the community. I called Mayor Antonio Villaraigosa, and I went to Bernard Parks, I went to all of the leading, I was ignored, because my son also had 12 scholarships or more to go to school. He was a leading, prominent percussionist at Crenshaw High School, and his father, unlikely though, my husband's Italian, through the Lucci. So in dying because of gang violence, it makes it hard that we need to look at gang violence, period. And the other thing that I'm concerned about, and not necessarily angry, the young man who murdered my son, it took me a year of hard sweat and blood going to every hearing to get that young man tried as an adult, because we have these boo-hoo referees who don't make good decisions. And if it's a prima facie case for first-degree murder, then we need to look at that. And last I'm saying to you is that if you add in there, was the young man who was let out of prison and shot, was he on house arrest? Was he on probation? Was there anything that was there for him? Because this young man that murdered my son was out on house arrest for almost 7 months, and he could have killed someone else. I finally got him tried as an adult. I'm grateful to the police for fighting for it. He is in adult prison now and stands to serve because of gang injunction, 50 years to life. But I do think that if you add into the fact that you're looking at gang violence, you need to look at how that juvenile system serves them if they're young murderers who commit murders, because that's a problem, and that was Proposition 21 a long time back. That still hasn't been resolved. And I understand Proposition 8 now that was voted on is saying now that we'll have some say in that, in the community. So my son wasn't just some kid that died. He was a kid with a family. I'm a community member here. I live right on Angeles Vista. So I've been in a prominent community for a long time. But I find that the level of violence is not accurately accounted for. The statistics do not state what the murders are.
Okay, Mr. Simmons?
Yes, first of all, I must commend the sheriff. Sheriff, you are really a red-blooded American.
Yes, he is.
I want to congratulate you. You call it like it is, and that's what it is. I'm surprised some of these black folks never cease to amaze me for what they got to say. Yeah, they don't cease to amaze me, the things they got to say. You ain't worth your salt to go on your bread if you can't fight for yourself. You got to fight for everybody else. When I went to show on June the 6th on 1944 at Normandy as a tank commander, I went to show for English and for America. Nothing else, no more and no less. When I lost A Company, B Company, and part of C Company for Democratic Society, I lost it for all Americans. Not nobody from France, not nobody from England, not nobody from no place else but America and Americans. I said all that to say this. When H.R. 4437, I was in Washington on the floor. When it came up, who voted against it? Maxine Waters, Diane Watson, the Black Caucus. What did that bill say? We cannot exist. We can't take everybody in this country. We can't take all the people who don't adhere to our laws and our rules and regulations. We can't make this a third world, and that's where we are almost right now, the third world. I believe in helping them there. When the Marshall Plan came in existence after World War II, what did we do? Germany didn't ask us to come here. We helped them there. I know what's happening in Mexico. I know what's happening in Guatemala, Nicaragua. I know what's happening down there. It's sad. it's sad they're killing each other, but we can't take them here to do some killing. Because if they don't fit into our pattern, we can't have them here. Now,
Mr. Simmons, can we do part 2?
Answer my question. I wanted to
You had
answer.
a question specifically for the...
Yes, I asked them regarding that.
Well, first of all, let me say this, that Chief Brad and I and all the police chiefs, we know what these numbers mean. There isn't one murder in this county that we're not involved with. Okay, so I want you to understand that the pain that you endure is unbelievably to what I call inexcusable. That your son's murder should have been clearly prosecuted in the fashion that all murders need to be prosecuted, and that's where the whole system starts to fall. But victims' families, such as you're a member of a victim's family,
Yes, I am.
they have high status in the eyes of law enforcement. And there's a number of groups that we are constantly working with, and I'll give you my card, because I think that you need to know that we're going to stand up for who you are fighting for, and that's your son. You know,
No, the young man, he's in adult prison. He's going to get his, because he's in there with one of the people he tried to murder. But my question was, with regard to Jamil Shaw, the young man that murdered him, when he was released with an ankle bracelet?
Oh, no. He
Was he released with any type of probation, or he just straight released?
He was released relative to serving his time. Now, you know, what happens in these lives of these gang members is they'll commit a minor offense. They'll go in and they'll do their time, 45 days, 6 months, whatever it is, in the county jail. They get out, and then they commit a murder, like in the case of Jamil Shaw. Now, we don't have any way of predicting who's going to commit a murder. See, that, unless we're doing our wiretap, and we do it in the jail, too. We monitor these phone calls, and we hear if they're conspiring, and if they're conspiring, we can get in front of it. But you see, where my empathy for you is, in all victim families, is that there is no justice for murder.
No, it's not.
Okay, no matter what happens after your son has been killed, there isn't anything that's going to take away that loss.
No.
He's not coming back,
No.
and the perpetrator continues on with all the human faculties, except a wrong mind. And they keep on living on, and it takes forever before the death penalty kicks in, so that's a meaningless solution as well. And so where a lot of victim families do is they go through the shock, from the shock. I mean, I'm sure the day you learned your son was died, you were in a total state of shock.
Oh, I was in I had a lot of issues with that.
Then the shock becomes mourning, and it becomes pleadingly why, and then it becomes an issue of getting sad, and then you get mad.
But see, like the gentleman said, I had to fight for myself. I had to fight with the referee.
So you don't have to fight alone. You know,
I did for a year, and it wasn't until I brought it to the urban policy and became a member of the Urban Policy Roundtable that they started coming down to court with me and seeing for themselves. Earl Hutchinson came in and he could see what was going on. And then the LA Times wrote an article because he pushed it. Then I started receiving, oh, something's wrong, and then they were afraid that the media were going to come in to the hearing itself on the last day. I mean, I don't want to take up the time because my son is dead and it's been a year, but this young man is in prison now. It's the only reason why I have not just lost it.